Today I want to talk about one of the most common mistakes that the writers that I talk about are making. They are struggling, or they're blocked, or they're frustrated, or they're overwhelmed, and they believe that that's the normal writer's life. Let's change that, right? So this is the mistake that struggles and blocks and overwhelms and frustration are normal. And this mistake is going to ripple out, not just in your writing, but it's also going to ripple out into your life as well. To me, it's the equivalent of coming across someone and they're like knee deep in sloppy, dirty mud, and they're trying to kind of wade through their life, and me saying, hey, what's going on here? This is a little bit strange. And them acting like that's just normal because they don't know any other way, because either that's how it's always been, or they've been with other people who are also knee deep in sticky, dirty mud, and they're all wading through it. So I really want for you to understand that if you are struggling with your writing, that isn't an indication that that's just how it is. It's an indication that you're struggling with your writing. And do you want to continue to struggle with your writing? So the mistake is to say this is normal, this is how it is, this is how it's always going to be, rather than stepping into a place of saying, oh, well, how else could it be? So here's where we start to reverse that common mistake. We start to get curious about how we would really love it to be. Because let's face it, we're in this life to surely have a great time. We're in this life to surely experience deep joy and deep fulfillment. And it's not particularly joyful or fulfilling if we're allowing ourselves to be in places of frustration or overwhelm or block and thinking that that's normal. Like, not only is the block frustrating, but the fact that we think that's normal, like, that's pretty depressing as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy, and then it becomes even harder to have this joyful, happy, fulfilling life. So we come from a place of just accepting it to beginning to get curious. Now, I don't want to say that you have to make too huge a leap. And the reason I don't want to do that is because sometimes it can feel even more overwhelming to be knee deep in that mud and to start to open your mind to the fact that it doesn't have to be like that. And the reason it becomes overwhelming is because suddenly you're in this mud and you don't really know how to get out of it. And so when you start to think that it's possible to not be in the mud, then you create this idea of like, oh God, I could be out of this mud, but I just don't know how. And then that can get a little bit scary. It can get just a little bit painful in its own, because you start to imagine a place where you're not in the mud, but you don't know how to get free of it. So that's why we go really, really slowly with this. And we just start by getting curious. So whether it's that you're struggling or you're feeling frustrated about not getting the results that you want with your writing, or you're feeling that you're currently blocked with your work in progress, or you're feeling really overwhelmed trying to juggle life and your writing, I just want to give you this to say it doesn't have to be this way. And we can take step by step by step to try to come into a place where it's more enjoyable. And the way we do that is the same way we would do anything that we are learning for the first time. So for example, if someone came to me and said, I want to learn how to play the piano, we would go step by step. We would start doing scales, and they'd start to learn how to read music, and they would start practicing. So it's the same when you're creating a relationship with your writing that feels free and feels exciting and feels fruitful and feels fulfilling. We go step by step, but always getting curious in the mind. And we keep asking ourselves, how do I really want this to be? How do I want my writing to feel? What do I want my writing day to actually look like? And there we stop accepting the struggle. We stop making that mistake of believing that this is the writer's life. And we start to get curious about the kind of writing life that we want to make for ourselves. It's such powerful work, this, and we do a lot of this in my Facebook community. So I would love for you to come and find us there. It's a public group. You can just use the link in the comments below and request to join. And we do lots and lots of work about how to design that perfect writing life, how to really create a writing process that is fulfilling and that gets you the results that you want. So you stop making that mistake of believing that it has to be a struggle. If it's your first time here, then why not think about subscribing, and then that way you can keep in touch of all of the videos that I'm bringing out. They're all aimed at helping you change the way you think and therefore change the way that you feel. So that's going to enable you to make your writing journey with more peace and more satisfaction. And I will see you next Monday. Take care.